farmers, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, upon me hills to country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia, for Liberia, Liberia, for Liberia, yeah. From Monday to Sunday, from Monday to Sunday, it's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jar.
And I am Anthony Seed, and the plus and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the hour of politics, and I'm excited to be here to have a discussion. Colonel Freeman is here, and he is my guest in what is to be a provoking conversation about their country, Liberia. Mr. Colonel Freeman is the progenitor of a group called NTR. So Project NTR, this is what we are here to discuss, and you will get to know what Project NTR is all about. And so, folks, I am excited about this discussion. For the nation, Liberia needs us. And it is clear that we need a transformative leadership, a leadership that is bold, innovative, a leadership that will be about the people, a people-centered leadership, a people-driven government. We are looking for leaders who almost satisfaction will be to see the improvement of the material and human conditions of their fellow citizens. A leader who will feel honored that they have accomplished something because the lives of its people is experiencing significant improvement and change in a more profound and fundamental way. So this search for not only leaders, but a leadership that transforms our country, that delivers the goods, that represents the aspirations of our people. That search has begun. Not today, but it began many years ago. But how have we been doing it for which we have not gotten close yet? And so maybe we need to do a new search. Welcome. Let me welcome my guest in today's edition of the Hour of Politics, Anthony Warnock Konyenen Freeman. He's an activist, and he is from a group named Project NTR. And he's going to tell us what the NTR stands for. You know, what NTR stands for, we're going to know. My good friend, I'm not going to be friendly because what I'm hearing from you, I don't know. But welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much, Anthony. It's so nice to be here. And I'm really excited about the discussion. It's been a long time coming, but let's see how it goes.
Talking about let's see how it goes. And if you are here and if you have not invited somebody, please do so. Because this discussion is about thinking in a much more critical way. And some of the things that are going to be discussed and the question that I have for my guests are things that will get your mind twisted if you don't stand firm. And he thinks that that is the way to go. And so welcome. Share the broadcast with somebody. Of course, this is Focus on Liberia. We are about educating, elevating, and promoting all things our dear country, Liberia. Konyenen, let's get this ball started. Project NTR. What is Project NTR all about?
Okay, very good. To start with, Anthony, if you take a step back and look at Liberia, we had a brutal civil war. Oh boy.
I can hear you. You are clear.
Yeah,
there.
we had a brutal civil war, and there was a high hope that in the post-civil war era, we were going to have a government that was going to work for all the citizens of Liberia. But we've gone like 20 years, and if anybody wants to be honest, there are so many people who are very, very far from being satisfied with what we see happening in our country on a daily basis. We see a deterioration in the poverty situation. We see a deterioration in the joblessness situation. We see runaway corruption. And we see an overall dissatisfaction of the citizenry because the government have not delivered. But part of it, I would like to describe as a self-inflicted wound, because the question is leadership, and we keep putting the wrong people back in power. So the deterioration in the governance structure, in the economic situation in Liberia boils down to that. And that is why we are here, and that is the essence of Project NTR. NTR, as in what every school boy and every school girl know, it means never to return. So the bottom line is people who have been given an opportunity to serve this country and they squander those opportunities, we don't need to allow them to come back in government. That's the essence.
I have some serious questions, but let us understand the goals and the objectives of Project NTR. I mean, you said it clearly. You said that Project NTR standing for never to return to class. When I was in school,
yeah, exactly.
NTR, you're not coming back to that school.
No more.
All right. So I have a lot of questions. I mean, every Liberian, should have that right. But you are saying, well, NTR, never to return. But we'll get to that, and then where the discussion will be. Let me understand. So what is the goal? All right. Or what are the goals and objectives of NTR, Project NTR?
Okay, so Project NTR is a platform for citizens.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a Liberian citizen and you are unhappy with what you see in the country,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see yourself as a typical politician that is running for office or, out there, but it doesn't stop you from doing what you can to make sure that your country gets better.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are saying, irrespective of who you are and how you look at political situation in the country, you can partake. So the bottom line is, look, we had a situation where we trusted some people with power, and they abuse the power, they misuse it, they squander the opportunity. We have a situation where people are currently in power, and it's very clear to everybody that they are abusing the opportunity and they are squandering the opportunity. Those people do not need to be considered again for power, for political positions. Also, as an attachment to that point, is to rally everybody else who is dissatisfied with the current situation, with those who are currently squandering power, that would be like the UP, and those who are given the opportunity and squander, that would be like the CDC group. Look, we have to come together and put our ideas together and work together to see to it that we dislodge these people and get other Liberians. There are almost 6 million Liberians. I don't want to believe that it is not possible, if we do a diligent search, that we cannot find somebody better than the current group, that we keep recycling and that keeps squandering opportunity. Today, a lot of Liberians celebrate Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. Is there a Liberian Ibrahim Traore out there? I want to think so. But if we don't search, we're definitely not going to find. So I'm trying to encourage Liberians. Look, out of 6 million Liberians, there got to be people out there who can do this job. But the people who abuse opportunities, the people who are currently abusing opportunities, those people don't need to be considered again. That's why we take the motto, no second chance to squander. Squander one time, you out. So we don't want a situation where, in the past, President Bouaka, who made his statement famous, he said, yeah, I squandered opportunity, but I'm a born again, I changed, and so if you give me an opportunity, I will no longer squander opportunity. And Liberian people bought into that logic. They put him there. Even before he got in power, he and his man Sylvester Graceful started to steal from the country. They went to Social Security and took more than 400,000.
We'll get to your reasons. I just want to get. So, what is your line of advocacy? I asked you earlier, what are your goals and objectives? What are you trying to achieve with Project NTR here?
2 pillars. Okay. Pillar number 1 is to inculcate into the minds of Liberians. When you trust people with power and they abuse the opportunity, they misuse it, you don't need to continue to put those people in power. And I have to give examples. Let's take the case of someone like McGill. He was trusted, he was Minister of State. Nothing he did was stealing. All he did was to steal until the US government put him on sanction. Everybody knew that he's a rogue. You turn around and you give him a second opportunity to be a senator. It's wrong. That's why we want to inculcate. When you give people an opportunity to serve the country and they abuse it, don't recycle those people. Find different people. Nothing wrong with being fooled one time.
So what is your message?
Yeah.
What is your message going to? And what are you trying to achieve with this message?
Two groups of people. Let's start with the ordinary Liberians. I want the ordinary Liberians for it to stick in the back of their minds that when you give people power and they abuse it, they misuse it, do not give them power again. That's the first group my message is going to. The second group is to all of those who are concerned about the situation, like say the people who have not been trusted with power, come together, work together. You all can be like leaders or president, whatever, but you can work together to make sure that the dreams of a better Liberia is achieved. And it can only be done by working together, because we have seen time and again that if you don't work together, you all end up to be loser. So what we're going to do, we're going to be reaching out to people and convincing them that, look, you have to work together. So twofold. One is to the ordinary Liberians. When you give people power, they abuse it, write them off. Don't consider them again. Don't even calculate them in your equation in terms of who you want to lead the country going forward. They are out. They squander water. They are out. There's no need for them to return. No recycle of all corrupt politicians. That's the message. And then to the political actors, you have to come together. There is just no other way. You must come together in order for us to find a winning solution, a workable solution. So those are the two groups.
So are you a political group? Well, how do you classify yourself as a group? Political group?
I would say a civic advocacy platform.
Okay. So you want to be involved into civil education, right? And,
yes.
and advocacy.
Yes.
So now tell me, what kind of civic education you're going to be providing, and how you're going to do it, and why you think that is necessary now?
Okay, so it's going to be like a decentralized system. We see ourselves like operating through the 73 districts. So we're going to have like district chapters, and we're going to like maybe give them the basic awareness and allow them to think about programs and activities that they can get involved in order to further the core message. And then on the other hand, we're going to be doing like surveys. So we would like to see ourselves doing survey, like asking people. So we have a leadership crisis. We trust the people, the UP, the CDC, they continue to abuse power, they continue to steal from us and just treat us like we are their donkeys. So do you have like people you think about that can, make a difference? And we can continue to do that survey, continue to sample opinion, and we can get to the point where there is a consensus that, okay, as we are doing this thing, these are the names that keep propping up. We can encourage those people who names keep propping up to come together, work together, design a system that they can compete. And at the end of the day, we come up with a consensus person that we believe, okay, this person can take us forward. But what we want to send a core message is that those who are currently squandering opportunities, those who squander opportunities in the past, we need to factor those people out of the equation altogether. There is no need for the same group of people to fool or 2, 3, 4, 5 times. There's no need.
Thank you. Again, folks, if you are just joining us, we want to welcome. This is Anthony Sia. This is Focus on Liberia. We have with our activist, one Konyonen Freeman from the group Project NTR. It is a project designed to tell those, according to him, have had the opportunity to serve our people. He specifically mentioned the Unity Party and CDC to never return to power, that the people of Liberia should give them NTR, for they have had time to improve their life, and they fail the Liberian people, and that the Liberian people should look somewhere else, for leadership. I have a lot of questions, and so if you are just joining us, you are more than welcome. I will open the phone line at some point so that when you have some questions too, because we've seen institutions come, they talk so loudly and so boldly, and at the end of the day, they slip in some of these political parties we're talking about, or they jump behind them and they all try to sing the same song. I hope that is not going to be the case with this project NTR. But let's get to it here. So why do you believe the Unity Party and CDC should never be trusted with power, and again when in fact our system of government is determined by the voters who choose who they prefer.
Yes, but the voter minds can be changed at some point. The voters voted UP, and then they changed their mind, and they went to CDC, and they changed their mind again, and they went to UP. So the minds of the voter can be changed, but it's a matter of how well you do the education, how widespread you do it, how long you do it. And so that's why we are saying at this early age, at this early stage, that look, if the logic is simple. Even in your personal life, right? Somebody comes and they fool you one time, and you say, okay, yeah, no problem, you fool me once. But you shouldn't allow the person to fool you for the second time. You shouldn't allow them to fool you for the third time. Take the Unity Party, right? Mr. Bwaka himself said he squandered opportunity. And then he said, oh, forgive me, I'm born again now. I will no longer squander opportunity. And now we see yellow machine. We see public West scandal. We see president vice president going to inspect yellow machine. We see legislative scandal. We see bribery, failure to declare asset, corruption. So he's squandering opportunity for the second time. So they're going to come back and say, like maybe Kuhn is going to say, well, I was just vice president. I was not president, and Bwaka was the president. So all the good things Bwaka did were I was part of it, but all the bad things he did were I was not part of it, so he'll need to make me president too. And Mr. Weir, who spent his time singing music and dancing and just celebrating and, stealing a whole lot of money, is going to come by and say, well, I squandered opportunity for the first time, but forgive me, I'm born again, and, I will not squander opportunity again. No, we need to just write these people off. They fool us once, they fool us twice, it's enough. We don't need to have them fool us 100 times.
Koine, your advocacy here is saying there should be a permanent rejection of these two giant political parties in Liberia. They too have the largest support group in Liberia. And you are saying the Liberian people should reject them. And you are familiar with Liberian politics. Those who support CDC, it's like CDC is their life. The same with some people in the United Party. And you have the assessments that these two institutions control political power in Liberia. So if they are rejected, what are the alternatives?
Yeah, the first thing we need to understand, election is arithmetic, basic arithmetic. So you're not trying to get 100%. Yeah, so you're just trying to get 50 plus 1, right? And in fact, in the first round, you're not even trying to get 50 plus 1. You're just trying to count number 1 or number 2, whatever that percentage is. Mind you, let me take you back in a little history. In the 2005 election, I think Mr. Weir was in 30% or thereabout, and Madam Sally was around 19%. And then in the second round, she went from 19 to be president. So we're not trying to confuse everybody. We're just trying to make sure that you dislodge one of the two and you are there. So what I'm saying, firstly, put in the back of your mind that when people squander opportunity, they don't need to come back. You don't need to recycle people. For example, take Ellis Tyler. He was so bad in corruption, they call him Corruption King Kong. But yet, the people from Bombing voted him back to office. What can you get out of Ellis Tyler?
So we have to stop. Do you not believe in second chance?
No. I don't believe in second chances. I don't believe in second chances at all. You fool me one time, that's enough. You don't need to fool me the second time. You fool me the second time, the third time. No.
Liberians are highly religious people. They believe in comrade Jesus. And my understanding is that it is written in the Bible that we should forgive 70 times 7. You are almost saying, well, don't forgive the people for the second time when the Bible is telling them and they believe that anyone should be forgiven 70 times 7. So what are you talking about?
And we forgive Bwaka, and what did Bwaka do? Yellow machine, public work corruption, $20 million, United Party corruption,
So how do you know?
$1 million bulletproof?
How do you know that Mr. Boakat and the Unity Party have been forgiven? That is why they are back in power.
Of course, because if they were not forgiven, they wouldn't have been voted in office.
Why do you think that they don't see them as an alternative to providing of leadership in Liberia? That's
the point I'm making, that public opinion can be changed over time. Public opinion is not a fix.
So you are saying this time around, when you carry on this advocacy
for several years,
that they have enough, so they're not going to vote the Unity Party and CDC again. Is that
yes? That's my thinking. Is that, look,
is there a hope? Is there something that you really believe can happen?
Yeah, but nobody can predict the future, only God. But we can work towards the future that we want. So if Liberians want a future, especially the young people, you want a future where you can have jobs. And when I say jobs, I'm not talking about government jobs, but company jobs.
Right.
If you want a future where you can have quality education, so even if job is not available in Liberia, you can get a job internationally.
Okay.
And these two groups fail to provide you with the education, fail to provide you with the job. And what we see every day is just one scandal after another. We have to discount these people totally. We have to take our time. Like I said, it is possible that there is an Ibrahim Traore in Liberia. But if you keep following the wrong people, you will never discover the real people. So the first step to finding the real people is to stop following the wrong people. And then when you start following the wrong people, you commence your journey to finding the correct people. The other part of it, like I said, is that the other people who have not been given an opportunity, they must come together. It is not a choice. Some people feel, oh, I have money. So, yeah.
Hold on, let me hold you there. You're using Traore as an example.
Yeah.
One might argue that is a whole different scenario. He was not elected, all right? He brought himself forth and imposed himself on his people. In Liberia, the situation is that people put themselves forth and then the people choose. But Traore choose himself and say, hey, I'm your leader. You must follow me. So how you think that
yeah, I'm not suggesting that there should be an overthrow. I'm not suggesting the military should take over or anything like that. I'm just saying that he's a leader that is celebrated in Africa, right? So I'm just saying, if we put people in power and they continue to squander the opportunity, they continue to misuse and abuse, take your time to look for other people. You continue to search. And that's why we are coming about, because we want to help Liberians to search. So we're going to have like a social media or opinion survey. We're going to have a website. We're going to survey opinion. We're going to go into the community. We're going to survey opinions. And at the end of the day, we are going to see consensus building around some specific people. And based on that consensus, we can call them together and say, look, you guys have to come together. So the solution is for all of those people who have not been given an opportunity, come together and work together. It's like unity. There's always success in unity. So I'm not saying the AFL should overthrow or maybe he should overthrow, but obviously there are some positive things about him. And Liberia, there's a lot of Liberian youth that admire him. And I'm just saying to them, look, you can find a good leader in Liberia, but look, keep looking, keep searching. But you don't need to have the same recycle, corrupt people like, and I will call names. People like Edwin Snow. You recycle Edwin Snow from now to Judgment Day, you're not going to get nothing out of it. He is just corrupt. People like Jeremiah Coon, they are totally, inherently, fantastically corrupt. You recycle Jeremiah Coon for 100 years, you're not going to get anything better out of him.
So, it's said that you are rejecting, advocating that Liberians should reject the leaders of these two political parties, or the entire system that they represent. What is it?
It's both. On the one hand, these two parties represent the people who were given power and abuse it. So I'm saying reject them. But to a larger extent, I'm saying the people like Tyler, who have been in power forever, very corrupt, Snow, Zopeno, those kind of people that you keep recycling and the country is not getting better. You need to write all these people off. Find new people. Find younger generation. Trust new people. You know, this is the country. You don't have to say, oh, we went to school together, we slept on the same bed, we ate to 404. No. You have to be able to trust other people who are coming up, who have better ideas. But it is better to do that than you already know the person is corrupt, like Nathaniel McGill. Then you vote for him. Then after that, you complain that the Senate is corrupt. Well, of course, the Senate is going to be corrupt because the Senate got Nathaniel McGill, you know, they got Bill Twelve, they got all these corrupt people that you are recycling. Stop the recycling of all corrupt politicians. That's the message we want to send out there. And we want to keep repeating that message from now until we get to 2029.
So, Koina, you know, do you have proof that neither of these parties, all right, can change or improve? Because what I believe strongly is that every human being possesses the ability to change and to do good, you know, after having some experiences that might not be very unique. And so, because you are saying that these people are totally bad, the garbage, they're never ever going to change. What is the evidence that show that they're never ever going to change? Maybe they
let's start with the current. Let's start with Bwaga, right?
You know, to become better people.
Let's start with Bwaga. It wasn't me that said he squandered opportunity, right? It was Bwaga who said he squandered opportunity. We brought him back. Now we see Yellow Machine.
He actually said Unity Party. He said he didn't say I. He said,
but was he part of Unity Party?
Yeah, he said. So you were referring to Unity Party.
So in short, if he was part of Unity Party, he was part and parcel of the people who squandered opportunity, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you ignore that you brought him back. What do you see?
Are you saying that the president is squandering opportunities right now?
He is currently squandering opportunities.
So where's the evidence that he's doing that? He judged from the United States. All right. The other day he was in China. All right, and he's been traveling, trying to lobby for our people. So why are the opportunities? You mentioned Yellow. So
right now, what do we have now? Budget shuffle. We have budget shuffle right now, right?
Budget shuffle is obvious.
Okay, you know why we have budget shuffle?
No, tell me.
Because revenue is not growing, but government expenses continue to expand. And Bwaga has no ideas on how to cut those expenses because they are bathing in the Liberian people money.
So why are the opportunities? Why are the opportunities? Because you said he's squandering, the Unity Party is squandering opportunities again. What are the opportunities that they have? Let's get a clear picture of this.
That was what I call opportunity, right? How many persons can be elected at any point in time to be president out of the 6 million?
Well, the percentage will be 0.100.
Only 1%.
Yeah.
Right? So if they gave you that privilege, that is what I call opportunity. Help us solve our country problem. Right? You can't continue to do the same identical thing for which we move CDC. Private jet, $1 million of bulletproof vehicle, useless foreign travels, runaway corruption at the legislature, lack of persecution of people committing crimes. All he does is suspend. There's no prosecution. He doesn't bother to investigate. So it's another round of squandering opportunity when we already knew that he squandered opportunity in the past. And we gave him a second round. And in the second round, he is still squandering opportunities. So we say he's out. He and his man or Kun together, we're not going to take that excuse that, oh, well, that Bwaga doing it is not Kun. So when Bwaga moved from there, Kun can come because it was Bwaga who did it. It was not Kun. He and Kun, they are together. They are squandering. We write them out. Mr. Weir spent all his time wasting the Liberian people money, stealing it, he and McGill, you know, dancing, making music. And it surprises you to know that since Mr. Weir left the presidency, he has not made new music. But when he was being paid by the Liberian people, right, and he was being like financially, all his bread was taken care of by the Liberian people. That is the time he took to make music. Now he's free. He doesn't make any more music. So that was another example of total squandering of opportunity. Now he's warming up. He said, oh, but if the Liberian people can allow Bwaka who squandered opportunity to come back, I'm sure they can allow me to come back. Even though I squandered opportunity, I use all that time to sing music and dance and just enjoy myself and steal all the money, but I can also come back. So we tell the Liberian people, enough is enough. These people are wasting our time. The country is not going anywhere. Forget about that. Let's look for new people.
Mr. Freeman, somebody hearing you speaking like this against the two political parties, they did the right thing, the campaign. They went to the people, they made their case, they presented their plans to the people, and the people chose them, and they did the right thing by getting elected. All right? But all I'm hearing from you now is that, well, these people should never, ever be given a second chance. Is this not a political bias against these two political parties and their leaders?
Yes, it's a bias. What's the problem with that?
So what justified this level of biasness
in history?
What justified this level of biasness that you are?
It's rooted in history because we give the Unity Party an opportunity, and especially in the Unity Party second term with Mada Salif, things were really bad. Instead of Mada Salif running the country, Robert Salif took over. Jenny Johnson took over.
Right.
You know, Fumba Salif, all the Salif, they took over and they were doing their own thing and the country went down, and that's how the country decided, oh, if I say book, it's not even important. So, you know, let's go to George Weah, because if the people who know book can squander opportunity like this, let's go to George Weah. But it was a very bad decision. But yeah, that's why they thought at the time. And they went to Weah, and we were in this town. Weah was not interested in governing. Weah was only interested in stealing as much money as possible from the people building his 40-plus condominium.
You admitted
for his wife. That was all he was interested in.
That you are biased against these political institutions.
Rooted in history.
If I understand your context here, you are saying justifiably so. You have been biased against them.
Yes.
So let me put it this way. Would you rather be fair or biased?
Well, I don't want to, because I don't consider it to be biased. I just try to learn from history. I mean, Anthony, right? If somebody comes to you, let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
I don't want to change your language because you chose the word bias, right? I don't want to change. I wouldn't describe it as being biased. I'm just trying to learn from history. I'm just trying to say, if somebody fooled me one time, that's enough. Why do I have to allow myself to be fooled for the second time? In the case of the Unity Party, if we allow it any more time, that would be the third time of being fooled. I don't think it makes any sense. You know, so for me, education, awareness, and getting the other people who have not been given an opportunity, getting them to come together, work together in unity, and devise a common strategy. You know, it may be a merger, it might be a coalition, whatever it is, but work together. There is no way that you can succeed if you don't come together. And I want the public to know that if these people come to your town and somebody say, oh, you know, I well knew, and this and that, look, tell them you must come together and work together. This is the only way to succeed.
So, Mr. Freeman, in order for your advocacy to yield its desired results, you have a monumental task here. And in my estimation here, you must do better to convince the very people you are criticizing voters or their supporters. And in my calculation, this is how it is doable, because here already we have Brother Bill Willie. He said another loose talker. I don't know where he comes from with that, and Bill allowed me to assume here that maybe he's saying that because you're saying they against people or a side he supports. That's an example, Willie. I'm not accusing you because I don't know who you are. So let's say Willie is supporting one of the parties. Hearing you sounding like they say, well, they men are loose talker. How do you convince Willie, who, for example, might be a Unity Party supporter, and you sounding like they say they men are loose talker, and turns his back? Because you will need him not to vote for his party in order for you to achieve your desired results here. How do you do that?
Yeah, look, like I said, we are targeting the majority.
Mhm.
But
And the two parties
majority,
have the majority. That's why I asked a question.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
But it's possible that in the possible in the purview of targeting the majority,
Mhm.
there will be some holdouts, right?
Mhm.
There will be some holdouts. So we accept that there are going to be some holdouts,
Mhm.
but we are going to, the problem about a nice message is repetition.
Mhm.
Uh, Magnifying your scope of operation. Like for now, like I said, we want to have a decentralized structure. We want to
Mhm.
operate across the 73 districts. And
Mhm.
even in the diaspora, we want to operate on a city by city basis.
Mhm.
So we're not going to have like a central point of control to
Mhm.
kind of macro manage everything. We want people to be able to come up with their own ideas and we just bless it and let them move. So that way, we're going to keep pushing the message, but just one half of the message is to get to the people. The other
Mhm.
half of the message is to get to the other groups that I said have not been trusted with power and working with them and seeing how best we can get them. If we have to hold a conference, we have to talk to them one-on-one and say, look, guys, you have to work together. You have to come together. We can establish a mechanism through which you can work. We can have a trusted process that you can work to. But let's do this thing together because this is the only way. Mind you, across Africa and in large part of the world, the easiest way now to dislodge a ruling party or a ruling system is to forge a coalition or a merger. So we don't really have a choice if we want to dislodge this group that have been abusing power and misusing power. We must come together. And that's the message that if we start now and we continue consistently, persistently, I am an optimist. I want to believe that the message will sink through. NTR is something that even the first-year-old child in Liberia knows. Second grade, third grade, they tell you about NTR. When you say giving people NTR, so we gotta give you an NTR. They don't need to come back. You abuse
And,
opportunity, we put you
and
on a bench
going
and you
in,
wait. Yeah.
yeah. Let's look at the reality here. You and I are familiar with the politics of Liberia.
Yeah.
And the other parties that we see, they continue to strain. As I observe with my friend Vandana Patra was saying, my papa political eyes. And so we had the ANC that came and they tried to make efforts. This going election demoralized them. Politically, I don't think they calculated well. If they did, then the Liberian people did not see them as an alternative. One can argue they had a message. I believe Tiawan Gonglo had a beautiful message. I also believe when Tipote ran, he had a good message. And I believe these two individuals I mentioned had, one of the finance of Liberia. But the people of Liberia chose the CDC and the United Party for over 19 years now. And we are going forward. Look at, it's like, as I look at Alexander Benedict Cummings, he has gotten tired. He's deflected politically. I don't think he see any future now with the two experiences he had so far, especially the most recent one were monumental, politically speaking, in terms of demoralizing him politically. Now we have CMC coming now, they're making noise. If you look at political dynamics, region, ethnic and all that, I don't know, but looking ahead, I don't see the chances. So what are the other alternatives
Okay, let's start
for
with.
this message to really succeed?
Okay, so we agree that as
Mm-hmm.
far as the ordinary people is concerned, they understand what NTR means.
Mm-hmm.
They understand what don't allow people to fool you 2, 3 different times means, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can pass that message on and we can repeat it over and over and they can get a message. That's one half of the equation.
Okay.
The other half of the equation is the people who have never been given an opportunity. Now we have to not think in terms of specific individuals because
Mm-hmm.
maybe Commies ran before and Gongo and other people. But let's just say we're searching for the right person. Some people they feel, okay, I got name recognition. So because I have name recognition, I can form my own little small party and I can run. We have seen people who have all the name recognition, like you mentioned, Tipote, right? Everybody in Liberia knows Tipote, but Tipote ran, he never won. I didn't think he'd make an impact. Tiawan Kongolo is another person who ran. He has all the name recognition, but he never made an impact. Some people say, oh, I have money. I can set up a party and I can run. And, you know, there was Cummings, and before Cummings, there was another guy in the 2005 election. I forgot his name.
Bronsky?
Not Bronsky, another guy.
Okay, Vanny Sherman, maybe.
There was Sherman, but there was another guy too. He came from the US. He had a lot of money. And I forgot his name.
Is it Cassell you're talking about?
No, Cassell didn't run.
You're talking about 2005.
Yes. I forgot his name.
That was Vanny, that was Bronsky. I didn't know of anybody who was.
There was another guy that came. He had a lot of money. But the point I'm making,
I know about Reverend Hananiah Zoe, who never got registered.
He was another Reverend, but I just forgot his name. If I remember his name, I'll call it.
Okay.
But the bottom line I'm making, people have name recognition. Everybody know them. They have run and they didn't win. Some people have money to be able to start a party, mobilize, get people to work for them. They still didn't make an impact. So what this tells you, name recognition alone is not enough. Money is not enough. You need a combination of name recognition, a combination of money, a combination of organizational skills, and timing and momentum. So if you get name recognition alone and you go on your own, you may not make it. If you have money alone, you go on your own, you may not make it. If you have organizational skills, organizational knowledge, and you go on your own, but you don't have the money or the name recognition, you may not make it. So what I'm saying, bring all these people together. All it requires, get us ordinary process where people can compete against each other, and one person can emerge as a winner, and we can all rally around that one person. That's all it requires. Most of these people, they're going alone because they don't want to compete. Come together, put your resources together, put your ideas together, put your name recognition together, and then once you're operating together, there will be momentum. And once you have that momentum well ahead of the election, that momentum will continue to build. Let me tell you, Bwaka didn't just win because he and the Liberian people sympathized with him. There was a momentum for the coalition of political parties. That momentum was building. And that momentum built up, but when that momentum, when they split, it seemed like the public sympathy went towards Bwaka. And that momentum took him. So there's a lot of things that have to go right. And one individual or one party may not have it. Some people got money, they don't have the name. Some people got name, they don't have the organizational skills. Some people got the organizational skills, they like that. And some people got everything, but the timing and the momentum is not there. And that's why I'm saying, bring all of them together under one umbrella, put a formula together in which they can compete against each other. And the best person, mind you, let me just give you an example of what I think. Take the case of the US.
Koine, let me hold you there because I have a lot of questions. So let me hold you there. I think you made yourself clear. There are two questions here quickly. Okay. So are you rejecting experience in favor of just anything fresh idea, fresh person? And is that wise? Would that not be risky? I think that is the word I'm looking for. That's one, because what I'm hearing from you is that, you know what, the two political parties been around, we've been trying them, Unity Party, I would say 3 times now. And now CDC is in line, to be tried, maybe the second time.
They want another round.
They have experience of governing, right? And so you are saying, well, we tried them and they didn't do well. So let's give them NTR. They should never come back. Let's find somebody new without the experience, who does not have the experience of governing. These are people that have the experience. Don't you think when they come back, they will do better? That's one. So in other words, you're trying to reject experience over just anything fresh. Is that a wise decision? Second
no, I'm not rejecting experience. I'm saying
the second one, I want to tie these two.
Yeah, but let me clarify the question. I'm not rejecting experience. I'm only saying bring everybody together, have a properly defined method for competition in politics. They call it primary. And I would favor like a county by county primary. And by the time you get through the 15 counties, whoever emerges a winner, that person will already be famous. They will have the name recognition. They will have the organizational skills. They will have the knowledge. And if everybody were working together, they will have all the resources available to them. So it wouldn't make sense for people to come together. It doesn't make sense if we want to dislodge a powerful group for us to be 5, 6. It doesn't make sense even for us to be 2. So come together. So I'm not telling you need to have a brand new face. You need to have an old face. I'm saying you may have new recognition. Another person got money. Another person got technical skills. But put all of them together. Have a formula to elect whoever you want and let everybody stick with that person.
I like why you're giving me, right? Because basically, like I was trying to ask you to stay away from the U.S. situation, but that is a very unique example that will make us to understand. Obama had no name recognition. He was a freshman Senator then, and he came. John Kerry introduced him at the Democratic convention. He spoke. Now we got this thing called beautiful English, or beautifully. He spoke beautifully at the convention. So people say, "Oh, okay, this guy, right?" And now he was subjected to a thorough primary process across the U.S. And since that primary, there has never been any primary in the Democratic Party that has been tough, because he was going against a former First Lady, you understand, and a senator. And she has an impeccable name recognition in American politics because the one to whom she was First Lady, all right, I mean, husband who stay, is Bakley John stay around here? The old man stay around.
Yeah, he stay around.
Yeah, can I stay around? I mean, I'm mistaking him for a cattle who just passed. So it produced him, and he came out refined,
stronger.
Now, here's the thing. So I agree with that process. I'm a fan of that process. I wish our political parties would adapt that. I would be a fan of that, right? But here's the thing: you can produce somebody from a thorough process, but that does not guarantee that that person will deliver the goods. Trump went through a tough primary process too in the Republican Party. But I will be bold and open to say to you on this worldwide media platform, why I said here in America that he's a terrible leader and he's a terrible person.
But he won.
But he went through the process. So how does any such person guarantee that we will have a good leader because they've gone through the process?
Yeah, because the point is, we already said who we don't want.
Yes.
So who we don't want is the worst case scenario. So anything other than the people we don't want would be better if you're just looking at it logically.
That's how your advocacy sounds.
Yes. So first things first.
Unity Party and CDC, they are all bad. So
those one
will be better. That's what I'm hearing from you.
But I'm telling you, if you have a competition that take you from county to county, county to county, before you get through with the 15 county, that person will be solid. First and foremost. Secondly, because of the consensus that went into developing that person will have a group of people to answer to. So there's unilateral behavior, and
that does not guarantee that. I like the process.
Why doesn't it guarantee winning or proper governance?
People would behave the way they would choose to behave because maybe that's who they are. If the person does not have a fundamental core in them that I must resist all temptation and improve the material condition of my people, that is my service. I don't care what process they went through, they will become who they want to be. You agree or you disagree?
Yes, but I'm saying to you.
In other words, let me make it simple. There are some people that live in America here. The system here is set up, they can't steal. But by the time they go back to Liberia, they're in government, they start stealing.
Yeah, but the Liberian people will be a better judge. So I am of the belief that if you bring those groups together, the level of accountability will be much higher because no one person now is capable of making unilateral decision.
And what makes you think that that person would not be so powerful that, look, I went through a vigorous process. I won the majority of the vote. So why I say must stand. There are some people
No,
who
because
are
there may be agreement in
I
place.
hear some senators, as in there's a lawmaker, as I said, Lord, you know what? I want the popular vote in my county. And so because of that, they want anything to say should stand and no one dare question them. Someone said, well, I'm the president of the Republic of Liberia. And now you have this thing called, we the educated people will say, well, imperial presidency. And everyone serves as a will and pleasure of the president. I'm the one who got elected. You are not elected. You fire.
Part of what we're trying to do
Mm-hmm.
is to advocate for constitutional reforms.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what we have to do is to advocate for institutional reforms.
Mm-hmm.
So our work is not done just because we develop a formula
mm-hmm.
to dislodge the UP and the CDC.
Mm-hmm.
The full completion of our work is to see that the government is running perfectly, efficiently, mm-hmm. and that is delivering jobs, is delivering goods and services that the Liberian people can benefit from. So we're not like folding our hands because we managed to put together an arrangement that dislodged the people who were squandering opportunities, and then we get somebody better. But I'm telling you, instead of everybody going and say, oh, I have little money, let me form my own party. I have little name, let me form my own party. I got my own tribal people behind me, let me form my own party. If you can bring all that group together, there is a level of consensus that will make it very difficult for one person to dominate. If you get my point, if you're running a sole proprietorship, I'm a businessman.
Let's talk about guardrails here. I think I'm getting you on this, right? So, subjecting individual to a process to produce a different leader away from the CDC and the Unity Party is not enough. That is not a solution, right? Yeah. So what I want to get from you here is that your group, Project NTR, how do you prevent anyone who you prefer to not resort to doing things the way the Unity Party is doing? So what are the things you're going to put in place to prevent that?
So if we play a major role as we envisage,
right,
we have a document that spells out the things we want to see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so, based on the role we play, it gives up the level of prominence to be listened to when we speak.
Okay.
Okay. So we can insist on the amount of constitutional reforms that we want. Mm-hmm. We can insist on the level of statutory reforms that we want. Mm-hmm. We can insist on the level of institutional reforms that we want. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I am of the belief that when people start to work together and it's working well, it's difficult for one person to unilaterally act. Mm-hmm. So that way a consensus will be built. And some of the institutional reforms that we are talking about, I believe it will be very useful in preventing one person from abusing the system. That's why we are advocating for system change.
Are you going to be drafting or writing these legislation and putting them on the table for them to be passed into law and be enforced?
Oh yes, we have the skills, and we could revamp, because now we are focused on advocacy, mm-hmm. on opinion survey, mm-hmm. and stuff like that. But we can rebrand, revamp, and once we get from one stage to the other, we can focus on reforms, constitutional reform and institutional reforms, mm-hmm. and then turn our advocacy in that direction. But it's like first thing first, okay? First thing first, do the advocacy. It's still in the minds of the Liberian people that, look, let's not waste our time recycling all these corrupt politicians. Let's just find different group of people that we can work with. And then give that different group a formula to win. And once they get to that stage, then we start now, we change from, because we're not advocating now for, let's say, change of mindset, but we are now advocating for change of mindset with respect to how you govern. And there are a lot of things that is wrong with the Constitution. People are saying it, but nobody is teaching it, because the people who are doing the electing don't really emphasize and re-emphasize to the people they are electing that this is what we want. But if we start out with a project document that is spelling out what we want, and we are a strong stakeholder in the new dispensation, we believe that we will be listened to when we speak on reforms.
So, Mr. Freeman,
yeah,
I'm sure you and your group You and this group put thought in this line of advocacy before coming. And someone can say, well, your views are so extreme. You're trying to, kind of like Labreme will say, sideline an entire group of Liberians here. Now, that is just the premise to my question. My question is, how do you educate the Liberians that have been voting for these parties to believe what you are saying?
I think there is no one strategy, because the strategy you approach an 18-year-old youth way, of course, you can't approach a 30-year-old person with that strategy, and you probably can't approach a 50-year-old with that strategy. The strategy that may work in the Southeast probably could be different from the strategy in the West. And what it works in the West may be different from what works in the North. But what I want for you to understand is that we want to, like I said, and I emphasize throughout this conversation, we are envisaging a decentralized process on a district to district level. And we are going to allow them to formulate their ideas and give us feedback. And we might give them direction, directive, and all of that and advice. But the formulation of idea is going to start at the district level. It's not going to start at the executive level. So I want to believe if it is deeply rooted in grassroots action, it has a much better chance of succeeding than if we sit down and believe that we know what is happening or what is needed in the 73 district, and we believe that we know how the people in the 73 districts are thinking. That would be a wrong way to go. So, but if the people in the 73 district can think and say, but in our district, this is what works or this is what can work, and give us that feedback, then we can, of course, support the process. And we also want to work with the diaspora, especially on a city-to-city level, and do just what we're doing in the country, because a lot of people may be out, but they are so very concerned about the situation in Liberia. Look, but man, we in the US every day. People are struggling. They're calling you. They want money. Most of the people don't want to do it, but with no job, with the business climate very bad, sometimes they just have to call and beg for money, but they don't want to do it. Okay? So we have to change the real problem. We have to attack the real problem. Sending somebody $50, $100, or even $500 is not an issue. But the real problem is that there is a governance problem. We have people who have been placed in power who continue to steal all the money, abuse the power, and subject the people to poverty. And that has to end.
Thank you. So, Koine, my next question is total rejection better than reform? What if the Unity Party or CDC change direction?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that I don't believe that they can change, and I don't want to trust, because we trusted Bwaka Nassau. Bwaka was at the Senate when 95% of the concession agreement were deemed bogus. And Labrambo said, oh, you know, he was just second in command. He was not responsible. Let's put him back there. We put him back there. Now we see yellow machine. We see $28 million.
Right? The yellow machines.
Yeah, we see $28 million to national security for covert operation. We see $20 million corruption on roads. We see scandal after scandal every single day in the government. All Bwaka does is suspend it and say, go eat your money quietly. So we already put somebody there who squandered opportunity. We put him by his squander. Why should we go and put another person by who squandered opportunity? I don't get it. Maybe you can tell me the logic, but I don't get that logic.
The core of my question is, so we have reform here and we have rejection.
Yes.
Are you rejecting? Do you prefer reform over rejection? Because to reject is easy. Oh, we don't want you. And you bring somebody and then there's no reform. I mean, it'll be the same thing.
But the structure we are putting in place, there is going to be reform, because we are telling you that when you put together a team in which there are so many stakeholders, it is very difficult for one person to hijack the process and take it off rail, because there'll be too many people calling that person to attention and say you can't go that route. And like I said, we have a document that we're working with that is spelling out the kinds of reforms that we want. So we are not going to stop at the advocacy level for the awareness, but we're going to continue the advocacy for the governance. So we believe that there will be structure in place where the past mistakes will not be repeated.
In other words, you are saying, we're not only rejecting, but we are also advocating for reform.
We are laying the groundwork for reform.
All right. Thank you. So this is my next question. Do you think your message will inspire hope, or will it just stir or resentment, given that you are talking about the largest voting population in our country here and telling them that you're no good, your NTR, never come back here?
Well, this is life.
Hope or resentment?
This is life, man. You can decide something is not going to work, and then you take the negative approach. Most likely it will not work for you. You can decide that, man, this thing here, I think is possible. Let me work towards it. Let me strategize. Let me make some effort. Let me continue to make effort. Let me reassess what I'm doing. Let me, you can decide to do it.
So you're not sure whether they will stir up hope in the people or resentment. You don't know which one. This kind of advocacy.
No, what I'm saying, when you embark on a process, you are not going to predict how it will end.
Okay.
Your job is to work hard, to think long, to strategize, to reevaluate a strategy, to re-strategize, and to continue to apply effort.
But you believe this is the right strategy for your country?
Yes. But even the strategy cannot be defined now and it's finished. You're going to define a strategy, you're going to apply the strategy, and then you're going to have a period of assessment. And after the assessment, you're going to re-strategize and reapply. And the process of doing that back and forth will make you to get better and better, so that before you get to where you want to reach, you are almost certain that you are going to achieve your objective. Like I said, everything is momentum.
Yeah.
If you start now, you start early, and you build momentum. Before you get to your destination, your momentum will have been built that there will be nobody to stand in your way.
So here's the thing. Now, you are saying reject CDC and Unity Party, and then encourage collaboration on the other side, those who have not had the opportunity. Now, if CDC and Unity Party see that and say, oh, these guys are building momentum, let the two of us come together. We have the largest voting population in the country, and they go to win. Don't you think you'll be responsible for giving them, a third term, so to speak?
Okay, so let me correct one thing. It is more than just rejecting CDC and United Party.
Okay.
Because someone like Zoe Penno, Edwin Snow, Ellis Tyler, Emmanuel Nukwe, they're not necessarily in CDC or United Party. But these are people who we have given power to and who have abused that trust. They have misused it.
The thing,
I'm just trying to recycle to put a mind.
I understand. I'm just adding meat to the question here, because what I see here, and you can correct me if I'm not reading you right here. You are not saying what they are bad actors here. All right, let's see how we can reform the system. We are these bad actors, but you are saying these two parties are our problem. They are worse. We should never give them any chance. You think that would not cause them to come together so that they can maintain the status quo?
Oh, it's a possibility, though I think it's slim.
Okay.
Because the level of animosity between the two is very high. So they say you don't say never. But even if they were to come together, they're already the same in terms of the way they have abused power, the kind of corruption that they have carried out, and their intention of never investigating. I mean, for Christ's sake, when United Party was arguing against the UP, they said, oh, when we come to power, all these people who stole money, we'll prosecute them. where they've been in power almost 2 years. Nathaniel McGill still passing around, even though he was sanctioned by the U.S. and called corrupt. Bill Twiley, Bekuba Jr. still passing around. He was sanctioned and he was called corrupt. Even Jefferson Kochi, that he said was very violent. He beat up Unity Partisan. He hurt them. He injured some of them. Up to now, they don't want to prosecute him because they are not interested in that. They just wanted to remove CDC so they can have access to the central bank vault, so they can go in anytime, take out the Liberian people money and blow it. So for me, they are just the same group with two different names. They're like a two-headed snake. The best is to cut off their head.
How do you ensure your advocacy stays focused on reform and doesn't turn personal or toxic, because others might see it that way?
Well, I will keep reminding you, anybody who attempts to do anything positive in life is going to have resistance. The only way not to have opposition is to say nothing, to do nothing, to attempt nothing. Nobody will oppose you.
All right.
But once you decide that you want to start something, you are going to have opposition. That's why the election law said 50% plus 1. They didn't say 99%, 100%, 70%. No, they said 50% plus 1. So we are just trying to get the majority of our people to think the way we're thinking.
Thank you.
Once you take over and you begin to deliver and people start to get the benefit, a lot of people will come on board. But once you start this process, because mind you, the people who are currently stealing the government money, they're not going to be happy. They're going to pay people to call me names, to call the institution names. The people who were there before and squander opportunity and want to come back, they're obviously not going to be happy. They're going to send their agents to hurl insults at us, to call us names. So there are a lot of people who are not going to be happy. But
are you prepared? Are you prepared to engage in a debate on policy, reforms, and about the direction of our country with the political institution you are criticizing today? Or will you boycott any dialogue between they and you?
Oh, as far as debate is concerned, any day, any hour, anywhere you call me, I'll be available.
You will be available.
And it's an open challenge. If the people who are called squanderers, if they believe that they are not squandering, this is an open challenge to the current ruling regime, the Unity Party, that I call you a squanderer, a squandering institution that squandered opportunity in the past. You are currently squandering opportunity, and there is no likelihood that even if we trust you with power in the future, you will not squander that opportunity. So the CDC, that we gave them power, and nothing they did was to institute violence, steal as much as they can, and abuse the power. I challenge any one of them any day to a debate, anytime, because I am convinced that over the past years, the poverty that we see in Liberia, the destitution, the joblessness, the hopelessness, it is because we trusted these people with power. We asked them to improve our lives, and they never did. But they improved their personal lives. Mind you, let's take, for example, Mr. Weir, that thousands of young people follow. He could have built low-cost housing for Liberians. Is that what he did? No. He built a 40-unit condominium for himself. Then he went in Marshall. He built a city for his wife. And he didn't build any low-cost housing for the Liberian people. But Liberian people, some of the young people, for some reason, they still follow him. That's what I'm saying. Well, we are trying to get the majority of the people to think the way we are thinking, because we know we're not convinced everybody.
You said, Mr. Weir didn't build any
low-cost housing.
Okay, for the ordinary people.
Yes.
I am aware of the proposed housing projects.
Where?
In Liberia.
People live in it?
Yeah, some in Monrovia.
No, because
some in Grand Cru.
No,
this is a fact. Is it that you don't know about it, or you just dismiss it?
No, what I'm saying, when you are elected
Mhm.
on a populist mandate,
Mhm.
you are supposed to elevate the life of the people. I'm not saying you build a couple of houses as a sample
Okay.
to tell the people, say, oh, you see this 10 units? In the future, I'm going to pay 100 or 200 for you. But
Are you saying what he built was not befitting of
it's
the
a
people?
sample
Okay.
compared to what he built for himself.
All right.
He built a 40 unit condominium for himself, right?
Mhm.
Why didn't he build that for the Liberian people?
And
He
you are
built a
saying
he built a center for his wife.
he
It's
added a
true.
firestone, right? You are saying he added a firestone.
Yeah. He built a center for his wife, right? In Marshall, right? They call it Class City.
Yeah.
Why didn't he build something like that for the Liberian people?
All right. I think that is a fair criticism. I'll take that. So my next question, Mr. Freeman, is what's your strategy to avoid being dismissed as just another protest group? And you are aware, this protest group now we have STAND, the mobile model of all people now. You say they have a group they are organizing. Can you imagine such a joke?
Yeah.
Mobile model. All right. And so we have a lot of protest groups. We have this a COP that was led by Costa. Some people saw another protest group. Where is Costa today? He's out on an apologies of the very people he criticized. And the next day he's criticizing them. And the other day he's apologizing for them. All right. And then we saw that with Martin Cully, who organized protests. And then and he protested against the Unity Party before. He criticized the Unity Party when they were in power for the first time. And then he came up to become somebody who campaigned for the very Unity Party that he criticized. He even felt that Unity Party was against him. And to my knowledge, he said Unity Party people beating up. But the gun election, he was the Unity Party Rambo. So my question is simple. What is your strategy, that you have that will make people to not dismiss you as just another protest group coming out again to job make noise?
Okay, so let's start from the track record of the individuals. Like you gave an example of Costa, right? Costa has a long history of flip-flopping.
Yeah.
This is an open challenge to anybody, whether in the group that is currently squandering opportunity or the people who squander opportunity in the past. You will not find anybody finding me to be inconsistent. That's one. The second thing is that we have a written document that we are operating by. Okay? So, on the basis of that, we leave a trail of a paper trail that we can be challenged in the future. The third thing is that we want to operate a decentralized system. So in that decentralized system, we are not fully in control of everything that is happening because things are happening at a district level in Liberia, and outside Liberia is happening at a city level where people are planning their own stuff and doing the thing and liaising with us. So in an arrangement like that, it is difficult for one person to just suddenly decide to go AWOL. But as for my track record speaks for itself. I'm not just in the diaspora. I was in Liberia. I work with LBDI for several years. People know me there. I work with the Governance Commission. I work with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. I work with the Financial Intelligence Agency. And, I work for law firms, and I have worked in some regard doing some work under the Bar Association. So I'm not just coming up today for somebody to say,
my understanding is that the Liberian government owes you some money even today. Is that correct?
Yeah. Actually, I've sued two government institutions before and won both. The LACC, at the time, they took money from the former staff, and when I confronted them, they failed to remit the money. I sued them in the commercial court, and I won that case. And also, too, I work with the LSCC, FIU. I also sued them and won that case. And they still owe me. They haven't paid, but in the LSCC case, that money was paid. So there is a track record. So I'm not like a fly-by-night person. People go back as far back as 2002 when I worked for LBDI. people who work with LBDI know who I am, what I stand for, and all these other institutions, from the Governance Commission to the Anti-Corruption Commission to the Financial Intelligence Agency to the law firm I work for, in the Bar Association, people know me. The problem with Liberia, I have a website that I run that I have a long track record of advocacy dating back to 2002. So I'm not a fly-by-night person. You want to check my record, you can go back 20 years or 25 years to check my record. I've been consistent. And that consistency, people who know me know the consistency. And that's what I'm saying. In Liberia, people could have dismissed people because they think everybody should blow up and make a show. I'm not here to make a show. I have a formula. I have a message. I'm consistent. I'm on message. And I'm moving in that direction. So it's not like I'm in a hurry, but I'm moving methodically in the direction that I want to go in.
Thank you. That is all the time we have. We want to say a very big thank you. Yeah, a very big thank you. Because of time, we're not going to take some callers yet. We will have another edition of this show. I am interested in knowing more about Project NTR. When I was in school, that was one of the things I was afraid of. I never wanted to be giving NTR. Yeah, school was that only place in my hometown of Southtown, way in Grand Crew. That was that opportunity we had as our kids, to come together and play on campus and eat our coconut with roasted cassava. So NTR was a terrifying thing, and now you preaching NTR. CDC and Unity Party. I have a lot of questions. I want to ask
all of those people who represent abuse of the system.
Yeah, I want to ask 2% of my questions. So we will do that again, but I'll give you the opportunity to give your closing statement. Why you think this level of advocacy, why the Project NTR is necessary for Liberia and Liberians. Your pick, please.
Okay, so thank you very much. It's been a nice time. I've been so happy that I had this opportunity to get out the word in the public. I'm just saying to Liberians, look, a lot of us are not happy with what is happening in the country. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of underdevelopment. We've trusted people with power. They've abused that power. They have stolen the money and used it for themselves and their family. We could sit down and do nothing and just, do nothing about it. We could also decide to just fast and pray and see whether they will change their behavior. We could criticize and do nothing else. Or we could decide that, look, this is our country too. We need to take action to get the kind of Liberia we want. I am speaking to all of those people who believe that, look, this is our country too. We cannot just sit down and allow people to run it into the ground. We need to take action. So we will be coming up with a social media platform. We will be coming up with a website. We will be coming up with activities in the district, and we encourage people to rally around us, and let's sink the message down in the hearts and minds of Liberians that some of our brothers and sisters who have abused power, misused it, took us for donkeys, we need to give them NTR. And that would be my final parting message. So watch out. We'll be coming to you and asking you to rally around us, and let's move Liberia forward.
Well, you heard it there. One Freeman, he's an activist, and he's from the group Project NTR, advocating for a better Liberia in their own ways. The song that closes the broadcast says, "We are all Liberians." Kanyene will be here. I want to ask 2% of the questions that I have for him. We will have a series here, if possible, to get this level of advocacy out there and see whether it's better for our country, Liberia. Thank you for watching. We'll do this again, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
We are